Rumors are that allegedly Real Housewives of Atlanta production may be in hot water after they allowed kandiburruss to exit the show. What's going on? Well, I have some new information that may answer that question and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk? And welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. If you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified, so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around rumors that allegedly Real Housewives of Atlanta production team is in hot water after they allowed kandiburruss to exit the show. What's going on? I have some new information that may answer that question and more, and here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly Real Housewives of Atlanta producers are in the hot seat over losing kandiburruss at the franchise. The source explained, Kandi was Real Housewives of Atlanta's franchise star player. She brought so much credibility to the show that it will be impossible to replace her. Production knew playing the waiting game with Kandi could backfire, but they never guessed Kandi would make that type of move. Allegedly, said the source, producers have been in emergency meetings since Sunday night trying to figure out a solution forward. Unfortunately, there isn't one at the moment because Kandi's shoes are simply too big to fill. The network knows this and thought production knew this as well, but apparently not. Producers are left holding the ball and are unable to make a play with it. But the question is, what is the real reason the network is allegedly mad at production for allowing Kandi to bow out at the franchise? Well, Real Housewives of Atlanta observers say that the network is allegedly extremely upset by the amount of money they're about to lose out on by not having Kandi promoting her many multi-million-dollar businesses on the show. The source continued, the network allegedly gets a cut of Kandi's many businesses she promotes on the show. So, not having Kandi and her businesses on the show causes the show to lose out on money on both ends. One, from the amount of fans who say they would not watch the show if Kandi is not a part of the cast, and about a lot of the percentages of revenue they will lose out on by not having Kandi's lucrative brands featured throughout the season. But this move has many fans asking the question, did the network know production was stringing Kandi along, and to the point that she decided to bow out of frustration? No, said the source. Allegedly, the network thought that Kandi was locked in for the next season. No matter how long it took them to confirm her for next season, everyone thought that she was an automatic shoo-in. And Andy, for one, was extremely shocked and allegedly begged Kandi to stay. But she had already convinced herself that production's lack of confirming the cast for next season was causing her to lose out on too much money. Rumors are that Andy was not too pleased by production dropping this huge ball, and that production shakeups may already be in the works. Now, kinfolk, that is some new information that came across the same time news broke that Kandi would no longer be a part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. Now, a lot of people were talking and speculating what was the real reason for Kandi leaving and what would be some of the repercussions of her not being a part of the show. So with that being said, kinfolk, the first part of this rumor that I find absolutely or could be factual is this. I'm not surprised that production is allegedly scrambling trying to replace Kandi. We talked about this in a previous video, that Kandi is just such a powerhouse at the franchise that it's going to take a lot of work to fill in those shoes. So when you think about the rumors that production is scrambling and can't come up with a plan because they were kind of blindsided by this announcement, it definitely makes me feel like that, you know, behind the scenes, things are not cohesive in pre-production. And it really does make you feel like that they are going to probably have Real Housewives of Atlanta on freeze indefinitely. Because if you can't find a replacement for Kandi, how is casting going for the other ladies that you are allegedly letting go for next season? So, kinfolk, this news does not give a lot of Real Housewives of Atlanta fans. It doesn't give us a lot of hope that the franchise may even come back this year. But I will say this, losing Kandi really shows that with Real Housewives of Atlanta, it's not about one person. It is an ensemble cast. And when you start losing the core 4 or the core 5 at Real Housewives of Atlanta, the show is really going to start to drag. Just think about even in their low season when they had like core OG or veteran housewives on the show surrounded by newbies. Those seasons actually performed decently. Yes, it wasn't in like the $2 million viewership range or the $3 or $5 million views that Real Housewives of Atlanta was getting back in during their golden eras, but the show and the ratings were holding because fans could identify with the core members still being there. But unfortunately, with those core members gone, it's going to be hard to see a path forward for the franchise. Now, kinfolk, the next part of this rumor I definitely see was a huge rookie mistake by production, and it's this. You know, this is clearly a rookie mistake by production by not doing their research. I don't think production even bothered to do any like real research about why fans or who fans feel like complete the cast. I feel like there should have been more research done and more data collected about what fans wanted to see for the next season and who they wanted to see for next season. And my sources are telling me that every metric in terms of likability and favorability, Kandi was on top of all of them. So it's kind of like, why would you change up a recipe right when you got to make sure that your meal is slamming and kicking it and killing it, right? It's like changing up a recipe right before Thanksgiving. And so my sources are saying that this was clearly a rookie mistake, and that this does not give a lot of the ladies who are thinking they're going to be X-Pac a lot of confidence that they are going to be able to produce a great season. And who can blame them? Because it seems as if their production is all over the place. If you cannot cast ladies correctly, that means you're not going to be able to properly create narratives and storylines for those ladies to carry out throughout the season, which is unfortunate, and it makes it seem as if it's going to be just more of the same. And I would say this, if this season 16 does get a lot of views, it may actually be just for people watching to see how bad the season may be without your core veteran and OG housewives. Now, kinfolk, with that being said, we all know that Kandi not being on Real Housewives next season is a huge loss to the network in terms of revenue and credibility with the fans. And we also know that this seems to be a big misstep with production. But the third thing about this rumor that I think everyone can agree with is this. I think everyone can agree that Kandi leaving, was the right move for her to make. Kandi cannot keep on missing out on all of these multi-million-dollar brand deals and multi-million-dollar entertainment deals that are coming on her desk almost weekly for production that seems if they're not interested in her in still being a part of the cast, which is kind of unfortunate, seeing how Kandi brings a lot to the show. Even the last couple of seasons when fans said that Kandi really wasn't bringing anything to the show, it wasn't because she wasn't doing anything. It was because production just got lazy and didn't want to showcase like something as huge as her Broadway show and something as huge as all the other businesses and movie productions that her and Todd were involved in. So with that being said, I don't think anyone can blame Kandi for leaving and wanting to leave, because at the end of the day, she has to put herself, her brand, and her business ahead of, the uncertainty of being cast at Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, kinfolk, the last part of this rumor that I kind of feel like could have solved all of this is that the network should have really stepped in to fix this situation, especially after seeing how frustrated Kandi was with the situation on social media last month. Kandi was not being given a fair chance to come back next year. And it seems as if she was frustrated with that waiting process. And if you're the executives, especially Andy, and seeing Kandi, who is normally cool, calm, and collected, seem very frustrated by this whole process, right then and there, you should have stepped in and said, hey, production, I'm not sure what you're doing right now, but Kandi is upset. She's our star franchise player. You have to lock her in right now before she gets too busy to where she cannot do the show. It's okay if we replace a lot of the other ladies, a lot of the newbies, because, you know, they're newbies. But someone like Kandi has to definitely be locked in because we need her a part of the franchise moving forward. So with that being said, I do feel like production really just dropped the ball. Now, kinfolk, the last part of this rumor that I do feel like is very interesting, and I cannot wait to see, and I touched on this a little bit in the video a couple days ago, is this. I'm very interested in seeing how Kandi's departure is going to affect the rest of the ladies who are remaining on the cast. What is it going to look like for them in that cast? Are they going to be wanting to be a part of the show anymore? Do they feel like the show can be a success without Kandi? Do they feel like that void is just too big of a task for them to try to fill and don't feel like they can carry that big of a load as the unit that's going to be left behind with production and the franchise? I feel like it's a lot of questions ladies are asking, especially Kenya. And so I am going to be very surprised to see where all this goes and how all this is going to shake out at the end. Because I really do feel like Kandi not being a part of this cast is not only going to leave a very big hole in the franchise, but it's going to leave a lot of other ladies asking the question, is it worth us missing out on a lot of opportunities moving forward because we don't know if we're coming back or not? And also, is it going to be worth this heavy load for the price that they're going to be giving us or paying us to try to fill Kandi's spot and our own spots on the show? I don't know, kinfolk. I just think that Kandi leaving the show is going to be a tall order for not only production, but the ladies as well. And the remaining ladies may not feel like they're up to the task. I don't know, kinfolk. But what I do want to know is how you feel about this. If you are to believe the rumors that allegedly it's production fault that Kandi decided to leave the franchise, let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that the production team should be chastised for this? Or do you think that now the network should really hold producers' feet to the fire and make sure they replace Kandi with someone who is worthy to be on the show? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over in the next one. Peace.